Hey everyone, John Wade Boggs fan here. It is Tuesday night. Hope everyone is having a good start to their week. For today's video, I thought I'd go a bit vintage, get away from Wade Boggs for a moment, and take a look at some of my vintage cards, my graded cards, the few that I have. I believe I may have shown these off in a contest video. I want to say it was for maybe G's Mikey. It was a tabletop display subscriber contest. And so I gave like a brief overview of the cards that were on the tabletop. So I figured I'd give a closer look of some of my graded vintage cards from the 1960s. Now, most of these cards I picked up from my local card shop. I think it was around maybe 3-4 years ago, ungraded. And I decided for preservation purposes and just to have a third opinion on the grade. Not that I didn't trust the local card shop. I love those guys there. But I just wanted them graded. So I went with the Beckett Vintage Graded. I didn't have an outlet to have them graded for PSA. I think it would cost more as well. But also I wanted to see how good of a grader I was. And I submitted not only most of these 60s cards, but also some 50s. And about a third of the time I was spot on. A third of the time I thought they would grade higher. And a third of the time I was pleasantly surprised. In fact, one of them you'll see here, very pleasantly surprised in the grade that I got. A couple of the other ones I bought from the card shop, but a long time ago. So I just threw them all into the grading submission. So I'm going to turn the camera around and take a closer look at some of my vintage cards from the 1960s. All right, I'm just going to go in chronological order here, starting with some of the just one 1960 card that I have. I used to have a 1960 Willie Mays, one of the very few cards that I have ever sold. Sold that about 10 plus years ago, and I want one back. But I also sold one of these, but I got this one back. 1960. Stan Musial in a 7. Gorgeous looking card. Show the back off here. You never go wrong with Stan the Man. Then next I have a 1962 Stan Musial, also in a 7. That wood border there that 62 cards have. Then a 1963 Sandy Koufax. 4.5, but centered very well. I'm very happy with that. And there's the back. Again, well centered, you know, corners a bit rough, but I don't mind at all. Nice looking card. Then here's the one that I was extremely pleasantly surprised when I got this back graded. I thought maybe a 6. Came back a 7.5 for the 63 Topps Mickey Mantle. Very nicely centered. A bit of discoloration down on those two corners, but the other two corners are sharp. Nice looking back. So yeah, this is my highest, I think my highest graded, well, regular issue mantle that I have. So very nice. Then we moved to a 64 and Carl Yastrzemski. A little off-centered, but got a 5. I was pleasantly surprised with that. I knew there was some centering issues when I bought it, but it wasn't overly expensive because of that. Love the 64 top set. Then I have a few 65s. Here's one of Pete Rose in a 6. Again, off-centered, but it's acceptable. There's the back of it. His third year card. One day I hope to get the 64. I doubt if I'll ever get his rookie card, or if I do, it'll be in a really low grade. But I love his 64 Topps card. Just don't have it in the collection yet. 65, continuing with 65. Here's a Hank Aaron in a 7. Pretty good centering. A little bit of a slightly diamond cut, I think, but not too bad. Back. Then here's another mantle. Technically, it graded higher than the 63, but it's a World Series card. It graded an 8. Mantle's clutch home run against the Cardinals. Almost looks like Gibson pitching. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't know. He wasn't in the lineup because it was probably at it was at New York, so they had the designated hitter. So I don't know who pitched there, but oh, relief pitcher Barney Schultz, last of the 9th. One more 65, and it's a Mickey Mantle. Now this is one of the ones I've had for a long time. I bet you I've had this card for like 20-some years. Bought it, again, from my local card shop, but obviously very dinged corner there and then down there and stuff. But really, honestly, happy I even got a 3. But centering's nice. So can't complain with the overall appeal, and it's a Mickey Mantle. So a few more here. 66 Mantle. And this, again, is one of the ones that I had. I bought it probably around the same time as that 65. Got a 3 as well. Centering isn't that great on this one. I think maybe the corners are better, which gave it a 3. But there's a little bit of a crease there as well. I don't know if you can pick it up there, but not too bad. And here's the back of the 66s toward the end of his career. Then we'll finish off with the 2 1967 cards that I have. We'll start it off with a 7.5 Willie Mays. Very nice card. Boy, that centering is just really nice. Little bit on the corner there. Again, for 67 Topps card, this is, to me, this is like mint. I mean, this is just this is probably when I start, building on my vintage collection. Probably wouldn't be able to afford this in a 7.5 right off the bat. But again, I bought it raw and lucked out with a 7.5. There's the back of the 67 there for Willie. And we will finish it off with who else? Mickey Mantle. Now this one only got a 5. Again, I'm okay with that. Not as good of a centering as the Willie Mays, but still, it's Nice looking card. Very happy to have it as part of my collection. Here, take a quick look at the back. So there you have it. A look at, and I did another video, a previous video of my cards from 1964. So I do have other cards, but these are my main ones that I have, the ones I have graded. Still working on the 78s and 79s in graded. I picked up a couple more 78s that I'll be showing off the next day or two, and I think I picked up a couple 79s. So I'm making progress there. But there you have it. My look at my 1960s graded cards of some pretty good Hall of Famers. So, as always, thanks for stopping by, and thanks for watching.